Hey guys, Bruce here, and I've been around doing some listening sessions with the different groups, and I've heard a couple of recurring themes in those. And just a reminder, I'm asking a couple of questions. What would people like to know about me? And then anything they'd like to know a little bit more about the business. And since I've heard some of the same questions about me, I figured this would be a good chance to get a little bit more out there and share a little bit more about myself. And I think, as I walk through the teams and walk through the factory floor, it takes me about 4.5 hours to get all the way through. And I feel like I'm running past some people's desks. So just wanted to get a chance to share a little bit about my story, kind of the big life-changing moments that happened. I think the first one starts off with I was born back in 1977. I have one little sister who's 5 years younger than me, and we always got along great growing up. Her name is Kristen, and here's a picture of us in probably the late 80s. We were at Adventureland, and you can tell by my face that I wanted to be on the rides, not here getting my picture taken. But she is now married and is a nursing manager at St. Luke's, and she has a little boy that was born last year. So fast forward a little bit, I got through high school and that, and life-changing moment, bought my first house at age of 19. And I can't believe the bank bought off on that, but I immediately figured out that in order to live the way that I wanted to, I might have to make a little bit more money than I was making at 19. So I decided to go back to school. And another life-changing moment, I got in at Mount Mercy College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, great school, and got a BA in business management and actually graduated with honors and was one of the first students that went through their advanced program, which was a program that was tailored a little bit towards students already in the workforce, and managed to somehow make it into a couple of their commercials. And the next life-changing moment that I had was I made the greatest professional decision that I've ever made, which is to come to work here. And this was in 1997. I actually started as a contract buyer assistant, so I was working through Manpower at the time. Then became kind of a shortage report guru, pulling together reports and that kind of thing. And then went to be a specialist, and then finally a buyer. And it was in that purchasing experience, those 7 years that I had in procurement, that I got a chance to meet my now wife, Courtney. And we have this event every year that's the annual supplier conference. And in this annual supplier conference, it's held over at a hotel. And there was somebody that was working at the hotel who turned out to be Courtney. And I'd seen her, and I'd asked for her phone number as I was standing there. And she, for whatever reason, suspected my motives and decided that she better have me show up at a Bible study to see if I was for real. So she asked me if I would, if she was going to give me the phone number. She said the only way that I could call her is if I showed up at this Bible study. So I accepted that as a challenge, and I showed up at the Bible study. We were engaged 4 months later and married 4 months after that. And I'm happy to report that we celebrated 10 years of marriage this December. So thank you to Courtney for putting up with me for all these years, and looking forward to many more. And it was back to the work then. So at that moment, I think I'd been in procurement about 7 years, and I was looking to get into leadership. And I saw an opportunity outside the company to go dive into a leadership position, and it had this big, sexy title. It was called a Global Procurement Manager, which sounds really cool. And so jumped right on top of that, and I've heard it put that the grass is always greener, but sometimes it's painted. So anyway, got over to that position and realized that I'd be in places like India and China for 2 weeks at a time. And it was one of those moments that really hit home for me. And it was one of those priority moments where I got back from a trip and I got off the plane and reached out to hold my newborn son, who had been born about 6 months before that. And he started crying, didn't know who I was, didn't want anything to do with me. And it was in that moment that I decided that my priorities needed to be assessed. And so I had that life-changing moment and decided that I was going to go talk to my friends back at the company here and see if I could get back over here. And luckily, they accepted me back graciously, and I'm happy to report that got into manufacturing leadership, spent 7 years now in manufacturing leadership, including getting back to this position here now about a year and a half ago as the plant manager. And so want to thank you all for welcoming me, and also just wanted to share a little bit about my history. As far as hobbies go and that kind of thing, my family is my life. I totally enjoy spending time with my kids, Tyler, who's 8 now, and my daughter Kieran, who's 5. They're my life, and still going to church, a little bit into the health stuff lately here, thanks to some changes in my life. And actually, guitars have always been a big deal for me too. Here's a clip of me playing guitar. And I'm also a big Facebook guy. If anybody's out there on Facebook wants to look me up, feel free. And as I've shared before, cars have always been a big part of my life. Now, I told you that I traded the last German sports car for a minivan, which was quite the change for me, and with good reason. And here's the reason right now. So number 3 on the way. We're looking forward to it, and that's a little bit on my background, and I wanted to share all of this within context too. Is I talked about these life-changing moments. Our customers have these life-changing moments all the time. I had an opportunity to teach a class called Leading in an Operations Environment to the operations leaders here in Rockwell Collins, and it was one of these really fun classes because we talked about the types of things that our customers would say about the life-changing moments that they had. And one that they talked about was the bullet that went through a communications box and saved the pilot's life. Now, in typical fashion, we turned that around as a CRG, sent it right back out. That probably should be in a display case somewhere as a testament to the quality of product that we had, because parts of the box actually still worked even with the bullet in it. There's the story of the handheld GPS that saved a soldier's life. Nothing more powerful than that. Things like the pilot who used our weather radar to stay out of dangerous storms' ways and protect passengers' lives so they can get back off the plane at the end of it and go see their families. And that's something that I think about for us every day. It's an important thing and a great calling and responsibility that we have, and we have a chance to have those life-changing moments for our customers every day. What's your life-changing moment? I think the work you're doing today, it matters. It matters to people. It matters to the people around you, on your teams, the people you work with, and ultimately to the customers that we serve. And so I want to thank you for all the hard work that you put in to the work that you do, and I want to thank you for being a life changer for those people. Thanks, and have a great day.